Hey, hi everyone. My name is Sahil and I'm here to discuss about my interview experience at Morgan Stanley. So, why I've written this into a Word format, not into a very good looking PPT or something, because after every interview round which I've attended, I used to write this into a Word document about when that company visited our campus and what is the result and what is the interview process and what are the questions being asked. So, I'm not doing any much efforts here. I'm just going to go through the document which I've written long back. So, Morgan Stanley actually visited our campus, which is Triple IT Bangalore, on 3rd of August, which was Rakhi Day. And the result was announced on the same day. And luckily, I got selected and I got internship as well as full time offer from Morgan Stanley. And I would say the level of Morgan Stanley interview was kind of easy to medium, and the interview process was kind of it is not fixed actually, because I've seen people they were having kind of three four technical rounds, one system design round and one HR round also different, so it depends upon the panel and also your kind of performance in the previous rounds. So for me, there was a written round in which 250 plus students actually sat and only 20 got selected, and then after that there was two technical rounds for me and one system design plus HR round. So I was having a combine of a system design as well as a HR round. And coming to the written round, so there were mostly two coding questions and there were some debugging questions, and there was 90 minutes given to us. And the first question was a kind of a big problem statement, but if you know the largest subarray with equal number of zeros and equal number of ones, you can easily solve that problem. You can of course code it in any language you like, and if you don't know that largest subarray with equal number of zeros and one, I think I've prepared one video. You can just view that. And the second question was based on maths. It was kind of very simple. If you just go through the problem statement and kind of form that when you have to take a modulus and when you have to divide and all that, then you'll be easily able to write. So why I'm not sharing the exact question? First of all, there is an NOC, and also I don't want to exactly share the question because I don't even write here, because that is something which I don't want to do. I just want to learn the background concept on that, not the exact question. And the next part was the debugging question section, in which we have to correct some statement and then we have to run the things. For example, if you are given a kind of a code of a selection sort and there is some mistake which is there, then you just have to change less than to greater than, or take care of the corner cases and all that. And then once you run it, basically says that whether all the test cases are passed or not. And after this, around to like around 20 students got passed, and then there was a technical round one for me, and in which the interview was very friendly. It started with the intro, and then it he simply started asking me some questions on SQL about cross joins, about what is the difference between inner and outer joins, cell joins, and all that. And even he asked me to write some query on finding the third largest salary of an employee if you are given some DB. And he asked me that what kind of a DB I have worked with. And since Morgan Stanley really focuses on Java, and at that point of time, my primary language was C++, so there was a kind of a lot of problem. And because he was insisting more or less always on Java, but I don't know much about Java then. Then he asked some concepts on multi-threading and OOPs. So I was able to give all the answers with respect to C++, and then he understood that okay, I know all those concepts in C++, not in Java, and he appreciated that. After that, there were some questions on deadlock, and then he asked what are the different ways of deadlock prevention schemes, what is Banker's algorithm, and all that stuff. Since I have prepared all of them well into the gate exam, so I know all the like all those concepts. And then he asked what is the zombie process, why we need to avoid that, and so on. And then in the DSLGO question, he asked a very simple question related to house robber, where he really focuses on how do you really form the DP recurrence relationships and optimal structure, why you are going for DP and all that stuff. So you can find the question on LeetCode. And in the second round, the first question was a product array puzzle. And luckily, I have prepared this video also into my channel. So there I got lucky. And this product array puzzle was kind of very simple. So I told him all the ways of going from brute force to the most optimal solution, and I coded them also. And then he asked me to open any of my favorite compiler, and then he asked me to code a doubly linked list from starting till the end and insert a node into the middle. He want to get the entire working code. So in the end I was able to write the code, but there were few corner cases which were missing because of the time. So he said, okay, fine, we don't have much time then. And then there was one round, which the final round, which is system design round plus HR round. I would say that was a kind of a very interesting round because there directly there was one senior person. He asked me to design the book my show, but since I have not prepared system design then, so what I did is I first of all told him the entire approach, and then to give a very good impression, what I did is I shared my screen and opened draw.io. I basically designed the entire book by show of whatever knowledge I have, since I haven't prepared much the system design then. So I designed like that book by show. Okay, we'll use a load balancer here. We use DB here. This is API gateway and all those fancy terms I used. And then he asked me some cross questioning, like which database we are going to use and why, because we have to store the images of the movies also and all that. And then he asked that if two-person book the tickets at the same time, what will happen? How will you handle that condition and all that? So there I was not knowing the exact ways, but I used a little bit of logical sense there, and I tried to solve that by giving multiple options to him. And then he looked satisfied with my design, and I think he got an idea that okay, I can at least think, but I know that was not the exact or the appropriate answer. And then he asked some kind of tricky HR questions, in which the first question which I've written is that okay, if you join the team in Morgan Stanley and there is a one very toxic person into your team who is always like your buddy, he is working closely with you, and there is a demo with the client or the senior folks, and he is always taking the credit of your work, then how will you handle that condition? Will you like complain to the manager? Will you leave the company, or what will you do? So that way you have to think and give a very logical answer to that condition. And then he extended the question and asked me, okay, assume that that toxic person is your manager itself, then what will you do and what is your plan of action there? So I'll recommend to follow the star pattern there to give the appropriate answer to this, because they focus really that how you are able to tackle the condition. Okay, and don't learn these answers from online. Give whatever your common sense says there. And the last question he asked me that where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? And then also in that question, you don't have to say that I am seeing to get into Morgan Stanley itself after 10 years. You can clearly say, okay, I'll come in Morgan Stanley, I'll see the environment, and if everything works out, I'm good. Otherwise, I'll of course look for the options, because I have to grow into my life and keep on learning and something like that. You can really frame the answers in that way. So that was a interview experience. I would say it is not going to be a very tough interview, because if you have prepared well, this is a very kind of like a simple round. So the results were announced on the same day in the night, and luckily I got internship plus full time offer. So that was the interview experience of Morgan Stanley. And yeah, I have resigned from Morgan Stanley, and I am going to join a new firm next week. So that's about it. Thanks a lot. Thank you.